This
everyone.
conference will now be recorded.
Most of them are not attending the classes. Almost 13 to 14 registered, but only 2 3 attending daily. Okay, so we'll see a very small topic today. Uh, Paging in SAP OData service. Paging in SAP OData service. So paging is very simple. Paging is nothing but it is a process of restricting the amount of data. It is a process of restricting the amount of data retrieved from the backend system. It is a process of restricting the amount of data retrieved from the database systems. Okay, so this paging is implemented with the combination of $top and $skip. I think already we have seen $top. The combination of $top and $skip is nothing but what? Paging. Okay. $top means how many entries you want to retrieve from the backend. $top. $skip means how many entries needs to be skipped. Okay. $top means how many entries needs to be retrieved from the backend system. $skip means how many entries has to be skipped. Okay, so the combination of $top and $skip is nothing but your what? Paging service. Paging. Okay, so very simple. It's a very small thing. Let me quickly do it. 1 second.
हेलो सर.
Yeah, Devashish, बोलो.
सर एक्चुअली हम लोग मेल किससे सेंड करेंगे ओडाटा से. इनके हम लोग का इनवॉइस नंबर मिल गया है कंटेंट से, बट बेस्ड ऑन द इनवॉइस नंबर हम लोग को आइटम नंबर पेज करना है. वो जितना जो आपका एलवी में जो भी आउटपुट आएगा उसमें मेरे को मेल में जाएगा SOSTT कोड में. ये ओडाटा में पॉसिबल है?
Can you repeat that?
सर एक्चुअली फर्स्ट क्या है कि मेरा का इनवॉइस नंबर मिलेगा मेरे को UI5 से, मतलब क्या है कि फ्रंट एंड से. वो इनवॉइस नंबर बेस में मेरे को आइटम में वो इनवॉइस आइटम मुझे SAP से आइटम पूरा फेच करना है. वो आइटम्स को जो जितना रिकॉर्ड मुझे मिल गया वो रिकॉर्ड को मेरे को SOST में ट्रिगर करना है.
No,
ये
that
पॉसिबल है?
sending mail is not possible through OData. In OData, you can only retrieve the data. Okay, whatever the data you retrieve, that data you will show it in the front end application. Okay, so in the front end application, whether you want to just show it or whether you want to send it as a mail, that is our wish. But OData is only responsible for retrieving the data.
अच्छा, बट सर फिर हम बिजनेस में कैसे हम लोग मेल भेजेंगे? इनके आपका बिजनेस सिनेरियो में रहेगा, आपके UI5 प्योर डिजाइन किया, उसमें आपका इतना सारा रिकॉर्ड मिल गया, वो रिकॉर्ड को यूजर मतलब चाहेगा मेरे को मेल में मतलब मेल में ट्रिगर होने चाहिए. उस टाइम में क्या करना पड़ेगा?
See, UI5 is a vast subject. Okay, whatever we have discussed, whatever we have started is only what? Backend part. Okay, so this is your backend system. Okay, and okay, this is your front end application. UI5 front end application. UI5 front end application. Okay, now in the UI5 front end application, you will enter some invoice number. Okay, you will enter some invoice number. Okay, now when I here get item data, send email. Okay, so I'll enter some invoice number. Whenever I click on this button, okay, get item data, what you have to do, what are the invoice number the user has entered in the front end system, okay, that invoice number has to be sent to our back end system. Okay, this back end system will retrieve the data from header table and item table, whatever it is, it has to return some data. Okay, understood. So
Okay.
that data we are going to show to the user in the form of table, for example, in the form of table. Okay, so now once the data is shown in the table, now what I'll do, I'll take one button kind of thing. Okay, I'll take one button kind of thing. When I click on this button, this what invoice data should be sent to the what email as an attachment or whatever it is. Okay, so this is in the front end. In the back end, we are only pulling the data, that's all. I cannot send the mail from here. From the OData, I cannot send the mail. I can only pull
Okay.
the data, give it to the front end application. In the front end application, we have to decide whether you have to show it to the user in the form of the report, or whether you want to send it as an XML file, whether you want to send it, whether you want to trigger, whether you want to trigger an email to the user. That we have to decide in the front end system, not in the back end system. Back end system is only doing the crude operations here, reading the data, creating the data, updating the data, deleting the data. That's all.
ओके ओके सर सर मैं
Hmm.
ओके सर
Hmm.
मेरा मतलब क्वेश्चन है एसओएसटी जो टी कोड है ना मेरे को मेल में जाएगा ठीक है आपने बोला फ्रंट एंड में मैं सेंड मेल करूंगा वो फिर मतलब मेल जाएगा अटैचमेंट से
Hmm.
मेरा जो रिक्वायरमेंट है वो एसओएसटी को जाएगा एसएपी में हम लोग जनरली जो आप में कोड लिखते हो वो कोड
Hmm.
एक क्लास मतलब यूज होता है वो क्लास से हमारा एसओएसटी को ट्रिगर होता है मेल
That is through
ठीक है
SAP. That is through SAP. Okay.
हाँ इससे हाँ
In UI5 framework, there are separate classes and interfaces. We have separate API for
ओके
dealing with the emails. We need to refer to that API. We need to use appropriate classes and methods, and we need to trigger the email. You are not triggering the email through SAP here. You are triggering the mail through what? A Fury application. That is a UI5 application.
ओके
समझिए ना,
ओके
whatever you
ओके
said
ओके
is absolutely right through ABAP report. In ABAP
यस यस
report, you'll write some what code, you make use of some classes, methods, or you'll trigger the mail. That is through
ओके
ABAP program. But this is not an ABAP program, it is a UI5 application.
ओके
Okay, so
ओके
we have to refer to that ana.ondemand.com standard URL. You will have some framework related to what email and pop-up API, all those things. We need to refer to that and you need to develop the application.
ओके
So
ओके
whatever you have done in the above report, forget in UI5. In UI5, we have separate API for every app for every requirement.
ओके
समझिए ना? See,
हाँ
your
समझ
agenda is what? You have to trigger an email which contains
यस
that particular data. Okay.
यस
And since you
यस
are doing through what UI5 application, I can use only UI5 framework. UI5 framework will not write the ABAP code. It is completely
यस
different based on JavaScript.
ओके ओके सर
Right.
ओके थैंक्स गॉट इट
That's why here, as of now, we are dealing only with the backend. Once we are done with the backend, almost we are done. Once we are done with the backend, we'll be starting with the front end. In the front end,
ओके
we'll see how to send the request to backend system, how to read the data, how to submit the data. After reading the data, how we will show it to the user, how do you project to the user. That is, we have to control from the front end only. Okay.
ओके ओके गॉट
Because the end user is not bothered about how the data is picked. For picking the data, we are developing the OData service. End user is
ओके
always bothered about the report. Okay, right?
ओके गॉट थैंक यू सर
Yeah. One second, let me connect to the server. So I'll go to this. I'll create a project. $top and $skip combination. We call it as what? Paging. Okay. I'll say it in the local object. Done. Now, as part of this, let me create what? One entity. I'll take a very simple example. I'll create an entity. Let me use the same thing, product. I'll choose the related entity set. Continue. Done. Entity is created. As part of this entity, let me quickly. We are not yet discussed navigation properties. Remember. Okay. I'll take some properties here. Okay, product ID, type code, and category. I'll make product ID as a key property. All are string only. Done. So now, what is my agenda? I have to return the product details. So already we know we'll have one stub here. As part of service implementation, you'll have some stub methods. What is the stub we need to implement to retrieve multiple records? Get entity set. So I'll right click on this. I'll say go to above workbench. I'll quickly write the logic. You have not yet generated the data product class. Okay, I'm sorry. Understood. You have to generate the runtime artifacts. Na? So it is saying that you are not yet generated. So let me check it. Let me generate the runtime artifacts, which includes what? Data product class. Yeah, runtime artifacts generated. Let me implement this stub method. Go to ABAP workbench. So it takes a control to the data product extension class. I need to implement this method. Product set underscore get underscore entity set. Let me open it in editable mode. Product set underscore get underscore entity set. I'll put the cursor, click on redefine method, done. Yeah. So here, done. So as part of this, we need to get the product details. So already we know how to get the product details. We have a dedicated function module for that. So I'll go to BAPI underscore EPM underscore product underscore what? Get underscore list. This is the function module I need to call, which returns what? An internal table of type structure what? BAPI underscore EPM underscore product underscore header. So let me declare an internal table and work area of this sort. Data T underscore header type table of BAPI underscore EPM product header W underscore header type work area. Done. Let me call the BAPI function model BAPI underscore EPM underscore product underscore get underscore what? List BAPI underscore EPM underscore product underscore get underscore list. Done. Exporting not required tables. Yes, I require header data internal table. Header data is equal to T underscore what? Header. So I need to return the product details now. So what you have to do? We need to what? Loop this and map it to what? Your return internal table. What is the return internal table here? ET underscore entity set. which is referring to your entity which contains what? 3 properties. So I need to map those 3 properties: product ID, type code, and what? Category. So what I'll do is, if t underscore header, if t underscore header is not initial, okay, if it is not initial, what I have to do? Map the retrieved data to what? I'll take one local internal table. Map the retrieved data to local internal table. So I'll say data lt underscore what? Entity set. Data lt underscore entity set type. Let me refer to this. Yeah, refer to that only. In this class, we have what? tt underscore product. We have tt underscore product. I'll refer to that. Lt underscore entity set type, so and so, implies what? tt underscore product. So I declare an internal table. Let me also declare a work area. W underscore entity set type. What is the work area in the ts underscore product? Or I can say like line of so and so. Done, done, done. So let me loop the internal table, loop at t underscore header into w underscore header. I cannot use move corresponding because the field names are slightly different. Okay, so let me assign it manually. What is the work area? Clear w underscore what? Entity set. I'll say w underscore entity set hyphen. What are the properties in our entity? Product ID. Product ID equal to what? W underscore header hyphen product underscore ID. Then w underscore entity set hyphen type code. Type code equal to w underscore header hyphen type underscore code, then w underscore entity set hyphen category equal to w underscore header hyphen category. Yeah, w underscore product ID type code category. That I'll say append w underscore entity set to what is the local internal that declared lt underscore entity set. So if I assign this lt underscore entity set to what? dt underscore entity set, I'll get all the product details. But what I want to achieve, I want to achieve what? Paging with the combination of what? Which is a combination of what? Dollar top and what? Dollar skip. So see the very simple technique I mapped it. So now I'll say up to this is fine, and if this is fine, now I'll say implement what is it? Yeah, implement paging on what? Local internal table. Implement paging on local internal table. So what I'll do is I'll take some two local variables, lv underscore top type I, then lv underscore skip, lv underscore top I, lv underscore skip type I. Done. Now I'll say the next step is read what? Dollar top and dollar skip values if sent through URL. So the user might send or may not send. He may or may not send the dollar skip and what? Dollar value. So how do you do it? Means clear lv underscore top. Yeah. Now how do you read this top value? Means somewhere here only you'll have one parameter. Yeah. What is that? Is underscore paging. Is underscore paging. It is of type what? S underscore mgw underscore paging. If I double click on this, yeah, in this you can see paging structure. You can see the two fields here, top and what? Skip. Top is of type integer, skip is also type what? Integer. So what I have to do, very simple here, LV underscore top is equal to is underscore paging hyphen what? Top, hyphen top. Okay, I can do like this, otherwise, yeah, otherwise what I can do is, there is one more way of getting the top value. There is an object here. Yeah, there is an object here, IO underscore tech underscore request underscore context, which is the object of an interface. Which is an object of an interface. IO underscore tech underscore request context. Yeah. Yeah. In this interface, there is a method, instance method, you can see get underscore top. What is this? Top system query option dollar top. Get underscore skip is also what? Instance method. Skip system query option dollar skip. What is the signature of get underscore top? It returns me returning type what? String. It is written in the form of string, no problem. And get underscore skip also. I think it will return in the form of, yeah, here it is written in the form of integer, but top is in the form of string, no problem. So this is the interface. Okay, I'll use this interface. IO underscore tech underscore request underscore what? Context. So what I'll do here I'll just comment this or what is the parameter ABAP objects pattern IO underscore tech underscore request underscore context. In this is a method, is interface. What is the method? Get underscore what? Top. Returning becomes receiving. RV underscore top equal to what? LV underscore top. That's it. I got the top value. Similarly, I have to get the skip value now. So LV underscore skip. Okay, LV underscore skip. What is that? LV underscore skip is equal to, okay, in the same parameter, is underscore what? Paging, is underscore paging hyphen what? Skip. Okay, or else here also what I can do, I'll say or I'll go to pattern, get underscore what? Skip, get underscore skip. Returning becomes receiving. What is that? LV underscore skip, LV underscore skip. So I may get the top value and what? Skip value. Now what is that? Okay, what is the concept of the skip and top means? Suppose here, assume that I'm having some 120 entries. Overall, I'm having 120 products. Okay, so I'll give the dollar skip value as something 4 and dollar top value as 5. So what is the meaning of that? You need to skip the first 4 entries. We need to skip the first 4 entries. After skipping the 4 entries, I have to get the next 5 entries. That is the meaning of that. Okay, skip 4 and top 5 means it has to skip the first 4 entries, and starting from the 5th entry, I have to get what? 5 entries. That is the meaning of that. So here I'll say, what is the local internal table I declared here? LT underscore what? Entity set. So I'll say, somewhere I'll say if LV underscore skip is not initial, if it is not empty, what I'll do, very simple, delete, what is that? LT underscore what? Entity set from 1 to LV underscore skip. If I give a skip value as 4, the starting the first entry, I'm deleting up to that skip value. Similarly, if what? LV underscore top, if it is not initial, okay, I'll say delete entity underscore set. Acha. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Suppose if you take this formula only, 120 are the number of entries. I give the dollar skip as 4 and dollar top as what? 5. So what I'm doing here, I'm deleting from 1 to skip. So this contains how many entries now? 116 entries, because I'm skipping what? 4 entries. I'm deleting that. I'm deleting that. Okay. Then what I have to do? I have to get the first 5 entries now. Means from the starting from the sixth entry. Starting from sixth entry. Starting from sixth entry to 116th entry, I have to delete, and the first 5 I have to retrieve it. So very simple logic. So keeping this in mind, what I have to delete LT underscore entry from what? LV underscore top plus 1. Hmm. If the top value is 5, if the top value is 5, what I'm doing, 5 plus 1 is 6, no? So starting from the sixth entry, delete the rest of the internal table. That's all. Okay, it might be deleted. It might be deleted. Now what I have to do, the last step, return the paging data to final internal table. Return the paging data to final internal table. What is the final internal table here? The final internal table is what? ET underscore entity set. So I'll say ET underscore entity set. ET underscore entity set equal. What is the local internal table? LT underscore entity set. That's all. Let me save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Then it's activated. I'll put the breakpoint. I'll also put the breakpoint here. Done. Activate this. Since it's the first time I need to register, so already we know all these steps. I'm registering it. Then let me maintain it. Yeah, go to the gateway client. Done. Entity set, product set. So how do you give this values means here? Okay. As of now, I'm not passing the top value and skip value. Let me execute this as it is. Yeah, if you see T underscore header, how many entries I got here? 117 entries. So I'm just looping it. I got the data into the final internal table. What is the final internal table? Sorry, the local internal table LT underscore what? Entity set. Yeah, I got 117 entries. Now, am I passing any top value? I'm not passing any top value and what? Skip value. So, if we call this methods, I don't have any values in dollar top and what? Dollar skip. Done, done, done. Okay, so if you see the final internal table, we are returning all the 117 entries. So I'll get all the 117 entries. We got all the 117 entries. Right, we got all the 117. Now what I'll do, I'll say product set. Okay, I'll say product set. Here I'll say question mark dollar top equal to 5 ampersand. So how to give multiple query options? You have to separate the ampersand. Ampersand what? Dollar skip equal to dollar skip is equal to what? 4. Is it correct? Question mark dollar top equal to 5 ampersand dollar skip is equal to 4. Done. Let me execute this. We are calling that function model t underscore header. How many entries I got? 117 entries done. I'll say fate. Okay. Now I'm trying to read the top value. What is the value I got? 5. Good. Then I'm trying to read the skip value. Done. Okay, this is the skip value. Okay. Now if you see from LT underscore entry set what you're doing from 1 to skip. Skip 4 means what? Skip the first 4 entries and get the next 5 entries. Skip the first 4 entries and get the next 5 entries. So limited amount of data we are getting. Okay. So I'm deleting it from 1 to skip. From 1 to 4 I'm deleting. So if you see LT underscore entry set, it has got 170 entries. I'm trying to delete. Yes, I got how many entries now? 113 entries. Now, in that 113 entries, what I'm doing? I'm saying delete entry set from top plus 1. From top plus 1. Top value is how much? 5 na? So 5 plus 1 is what? 6. So from the 6th entry onwards, from the index 6 onwards, it will remove the rest of the data. Means it will keep the first 5 entries and deletes from 6th to rest of the internal table. So when I say F6, how many entries I got at the last? 5 entries. I'm assigning it to a final internal table. So when I execute, yeah, you can see now, I'll get only the 5 entries. Yeah, this is HTFN 1007. Okay, this is HTFN 1010, HTFN 1011, HTFN 1020, HTFN 1021. Overall, only what? 5 entries. The combination of dollar top and dollar skip is nothing but called as a paging. Okay, if you don't want the data, if you want only the count, if you want only the count, here what I can do, I can say slash dollar count, dollar count, yeah, dollar count. Let me check whether I'll get or not. So I'm saying count and I'm saying top equal to 5 and skip equal to 4. So when I execute, it is going to that method. I'll say fit. I'll say fit. I should get only the count value, I think. Returns the count of paying. Yes. I'm getting only 5 because I said top equal to 5. Now I'm getting only what? Count value. Count of the paging. So dollar top equal to 5 and skip equal to 4 means what? Skip the first 4 entries and get the next 5 entries. That is the meaning. Skip the first 4 entries and get the next 5 entries. So that's what I have done. So what is paging means? Limiting the amount of entries written from the backend system. Limiting the amount or restricting the amount of entries that needs to be written from the backend system. Okay, so it can be implemented with the combination of what? Dollar top and what? Dollar skip. It's what called a page. It's a very simple thing, nothing much to discuss on this. So if you see here, 1 second. I'm not following the sequence, so let me just cross check on the backend part. Dollar order by filter we have discussed. Filter we have discussed. Yeah, filter good. Select options. Yes. Dollar top, dollar skip, dollar expand. We have not yet discussed. Dollar value. Yes. Media resource. Paging just now we have discussed. Deep insert not yet. Navigation properties. Navigation we have discussed. Function input. Media resource. Image upload and download. Done. Okay. The major topic is left over is what? Navigation between what? Entities. Yeah. Navigation between entities. How to get the data from what? Multiple tables. How to get the data from multiple tables. So that is part of what? Navigation property. In that only all this will come. Associations, dollar expand, deep insert, all are common part of what navigation property. So the backend part, we are left out with majorly with one important main topic, navigation properties. So this I'll start discussing from tomorrow's session onwards. I'll discuss it from tomorrow onwards. Okay, this navigation properties, associations, both will come in that order. Any doubts?
हेलो सर।
हाँ दर्शी बोलो।
हाँ सर, सर यहाँ पर कंट्रोल ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट यूज कर सकते हो ना ओडाटा में?
Control break means at loop, active events, all those things. Huh?
ये
Yes.
yes.
Yes, inside the loop and loop we can use. We can. We are able to write the ABAP code. So whatever is applicable in ABAP, we can write it there. Okay. Then, so tomorrow onwards, so we'll start with what navigation between what entities. There only all the rest of things will be covered. Deep insert, dollar expand, association, all are interrelated. Okay. So I'll stop for today. We'll discuss tomorrow with what navigation between entities. Chalo, so I'm winding up. We'll continue tomorrow.
सर सर एक्चुअली क्लास
Hmm.
कितने बजे तक रहेगा? मतलब यूएफआई कब तक स्टार्ट होगा? यूएफआई थ्योरी
Only we are left out with only this topic, navigation between entity. उसके बाद we have to start with front end only.
सर हम
So
लोग को लीव
mainly,
चाहिए ना सर, एक तारीख को सर
uh,
हम लोग को लीव लीव चाहिए ना सर, 2 दिन हम लोग 31st 1 तारीख को।
no, I'll not start the front end immediately after back end. Anyhow, even I am also taking break. So my plan is to complete this majority of the back end by this weekend. उसके बाद we'll have some 4 5 days gap. Okay.
ओके
So उसके वो टाइम पे क्या है, you practice this back end, complete back end.
ये
If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay.
ओके
So
ओके ओके
definitely after back end we'll have gap, and anyhow, no, 31st first I'll try to wind up this back end part by this Friday. Okay.
ओके ओके
Because we are left with only one topic, navigation between entities.
ओके
Okay.
ओके।
Chalo.